ladro! Al ladro!
A tower of linen at the pawn shop, heaps of bicycle parts at the market. Everywhere in the post-war Italy of bicycle thieves, there's evidence of not just poverty, but prosperity in reverse. All those nice, even mundane things everyone has always taken for granted are beginning to pile up as a kind of monument to desperation. It's a time and place of both too much and not enough, where not just possessions but people are rendered excess. Bicycle Thieves is the story of Antonio. At a time when work is scarce, Antonio has finally gotten himself a job, the only condition being he needs a bicycle to do it. Antonio did have a bicycle at one point, but had to put it in hock at the pawn shop, and so his wife Maria sells their bed sheets to get it back. For a brief moment, it seems like things are finally looking up for Antonio and his family when on his very first day at the job, Antonio's bike is stolen, sending him and his young son Bruno on a desperate search across Rome to try and get it back. While post-war Rome seems like it should be a uniquely tumultuous time, it's striking how much of Bicycle Thieves remains relevant and commonplace today. Few films so accurately depict the maddening quagmire of debt as when Maria and Antonio play hot potato with their belongings at the pawn shop. The film seems to suggest an increasing impermanence, a human condition increasingly beholden to debtors, landlords, and though they couldn't have foreseen it at the time, the increasing digitization of everything from our bank accounts to the art we consume. There's a certain you will own nothing and be miserable prescience to Bicycle Thieves. That's not to say that Bicycle Thieves places all the blame squarely on the institutions. While the police might not be any help, and while the church might offer only a transactional sort of charity, it's the people of Rome themselves, Antonio included, who seem to be contorted. Bicycle Thieves dashes any romantic notion of class solidarity between the haves and the have-nots, and shows the cruel, dumb reality of a low-trust society. Crime, poverty, social upheaval, it turns people mean, stupid, and paranoid. It creates a condition where, in lieu of a functioning legal system, justice is left up to the mob.
Ora le fatte frega la bicicletta, adesso fatte frega pure il portafoglio e vieni qua a baccagliare. Ma che te buttare a fare? I piatti, va mettete 100. Non ce l'hanno, tutti
Bicycle Thieves suggests the cramped abrasiveness of the city. It depicts a very different Rome than the grand yet rustic getaway it's painted as in most films. It's a Rome where men teem like ants over the cobblestone, where weakness makes men stick out like a sore thumb. Rome is colored by Antonio's tortured expression, by Bruno's constantly dodging traffic. Cited as a cornerstone of the Italian neorealist movement, Bicycle Thieves is notable for being filmed all on location and using mostly untrained actors. Director Vittorio De Sica seemed to have an eye for a sort of truthfulness in people, casting Antonio, Bruno, and Maria based on their faces alone. What I like the most are unknown faces, wrote De Sica, actors who are not actors, people who haven't yet become corrupted by their acting jobs and their routines, people who are still genuine. Films that are about common people need characters who are very far from the profession of actor. Actors are middle class, and an actor never could have played the role of the workman in Bicycle Thieves. The final shot of the film, where after attempting to steal a bicycle, Antonio and Bruno both disappear into the crowd, is often described as a universalizing visual motif, meant to signify this could be anyone's story, that it's a story happening every day, all over Rome, all over the world. And while I do think that is true, I think there's maybe more to it. Antonio and Bruno disappearing into the crowd also seems to suggest the piles of linen in the pawn shop, the broken down bicycle parts in the market. The suggestion to me is of the city, of modern life, doing to people what it does to their possessions, anonymizing them, divorcing them of meaning, and putting them in hock. The individual is made surplus, is rendered functionless in his society, and thus robbed of his dignity. It isn't all doom and gloom, however, as the film does suggest a redemption and safe harbor in family, in remembering what all that frantic searching around Rome was supposed to have been for in the first place. In conclusion, Bicycle Thieves is a really good movie.